Eggs, such an unassuming yet vital part of the human diet. From breakfast to sandwiches to baking ingredients, we devour them day after day, but we don't even know the basics or truly appreciate why we do. This speech is about undeveloped, consumable eggs. Let's start with some fun facts. Interesting. Chickens lay 200 to 300 a year on average. The exact eggs or the general amount depend and differ depending on the breed. Eggs take on average 24 to 26, or rather 25 hours to form. It's highly unusual or unlikely that a chicken will lay more than one egg per day. Eggs are one of the few foods naturally rich in vitamin D and choline. Choline is a nutrient which affects liver, brain function, muscle movement, nerves, and metabolism. They're a source of complete protein. In fact, to the fact that scientists will use them as a measurement standard when evaluating the protein in other foods. They are graded by weight, not by size. So when you see in a store, you say medium, large, extra large, that is by weight, not by size or volume. And most interestingly, they are developed from the inside out. I'm going to take you on a rather brief journey that the egg takes from its beginning to its end stages where it's laid. It's going to begin in the ovary. Now, chickens, in fact, have two ovaries, but unlike most animals, they only have one functioning ovary, and that's the left ovary, and that's where the eggs go through. They begin as a single yolk. The beginning of the ovary can contain thousands of yolks, one of which is dispensed per day. It takes approximately 18 minutes to get released into the oviduct, and then it reaches the magnum, where the albumin or egg white is developed around the egg yolk. And then eventually goes into isthmus, where the something's blocking me. There we go. It goes into the isthmus, where the inner and outer membrane, the membrane is that translucent little layer between the egg white and the shell, and that takes a little under an hour to develop. And then it reaches the uterus, where it spends the majority of the time getting the rest developed. The shell and color are added, and it takes about 16 to 21 hours before the egg is completed. Did I say completed? Surprisingly, the shell is not the final layer. There is one more layer. It is called the bloom. Right before the egg gets laid, there is a transparent, wet when it first comes out, layer called the bloom. Now, eggs are very porous, and that means anything can get in, including contaminations. The bloom is put around the egg to protect it from contaminants. As long as the bloom is intact and it's dry and it's not touched by water or anything, it can keep the egg safe and fresh for a long period of time. In case an unwashed egg sitting on a counter can last anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and even longer refrigerated. But if any part of the bloom gets compromised, then you can't see then the whole egg gets compromised. And then finally, and within a 6 minutes, when it's time to lay the egg, it goes to the cloaca, which extends a little bit, and the egg is pushed through, and the egg is laid. One really interesting thing, one of the truly neat aspects of eggs is, you might not know this, but yolks come in a wide variety of colors. Now, most egg eaters are used to the pale yellow in commercial eggs, but there are a lot more colors out there. You can see all the colors, you can see the descriptions. The color of the egg is dependent on the chicken's diet. And interesting thing, the most sought after eggs are the one that has deep yellow or orange or even red yolks. Those are the most nutrition dense. And because they are sought after, a lot of egg farmers will try to make a lot of money on this. but they'll cheat a little bit, and they'll do this by adding paprika and pepper flakes to the chicken's diet and try to pass it on as something that's nutritionally dense. So yes, you can eat green eggs. The question is whether or not you want to. And as with most things, there are myths and misconceptions, and eggs are no exceptions. So first myth, that egg you're eating, that's a poor, helpless, defenseless baby. No, unfertilized eggs do not contain life forms. There have been documented instances of eggs self-fertilizing, but those are extremely rare. Myth number 2, eating eggs increases cholesterol and chances of heart disease. Nope, nothing supports it. Oops, I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, I got that mixed up. Okay. No, eggshells do not determine nutritional value. That's not a thing. Nutritional value is determined by diet. Also, eating eggs does not increase cholesterol and chances of heart disease. In fact, this doesn't even harm people who have cholesterol or heart disease worries. Myth number 4, brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. Nope. Brown is true of grains, not eggs. They're more or less the same nutritionally similar, unless, of course, diet ends up playing a significant part. Myth number 5, egg color can be determined by the hen's earlobe color. That's true and it's not true. That's mostly only true for chickens that lay white or brown eggs. If you want to know the egg color, you want to know what kind of breed it is. And lastly, cage-free egg farming is more humane. Not necessarily. Egg-free might only mean that the hens are in an overcrowded, enlarged area, and it's not necessarily healthy. It's not necessarily safe. If you want to be certain that you have happy, healthy eggs, you want to look for egg cartons that say certified humane label or shop local small farms. And finally, we get to a really interesting part, the anomalies. Now, a few of these pictures, not all of them, a few of these pictures are from our chickens laying eggs. So you have, so there are a lot of anomalies. These are only a few of them. You have the corrugated egg, the shellless egg, the fairy egg, the jumbo eggs. Most of these are safe to eat, except for, of course, the shellless eggs and anything with soft shells. Those are not really safe to eat because anything could have happened to them. This fairy egg, this was one of ours. This was just under 1.5 inches. Those are pretty rare. They're not really worth eating, even though you can. The gist of it is anything can compromise it. There are a variety of reasons you can compromise it, but they don't happen very often, especially within flocks and especially within ours. And that is eggs in a nutshell. I mean, eggshell. Thank you.